No London game this week. No international 9 p.m. kickoff. No doubleheader on Monday Night Football. And 6 teams on bye. So it's a lot easier this week than it's been for the past several weeks in terms of watching these things, live betting these things, breaking down these things. You have a little bit more spare time this week than you usually might.
It's a great point. Anything on the Thursday Night Football game tomorrow night, or you want to skip ahead to Sunday?
Well, one interesting just statistic about this game is that 53% of the sets of downs, so the first downs that the Chargers have, end up reaching third down, which is the 4th worst of any team in the NFL.
Wow.
And so that means they're in third down a lot. They have to convert on third down a lot. They're going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings allow a 30% conversion rate on third down, which is the second best in the NFL. So, it's the way that they call plays on early downs doesn't really bypass third downs frequently enough for the Chargers offense right now. The run game isn't very reliable. And then if you look on the other side of the football, you're looking at a head coach in Kevin O'Connell who doesn't have a lot of confidence in his quarterback play. And as a result, they come out and they start games a little bit slower themselves. They have led at the half just once this season. One time this season that's tied for the fewest of any team in the NFL. So he tends to kind of play things a little bit closer to the vest with these quarterbacks that he doesn't implicitly trust. And it ends up hurting their ability to jump out to bigger leads. And if you remember, one of the biggest things that this team was doing last year, when they go like 13-4, I think, was they were jumping out to big leads. And that was a concern. I wrote about it this offseason as to, will they trust the quarterbacks enough to pass the ball, build leads early in games so that then they can coast in the second half of games? And that's not what the Vikings have been doing at all this year. They've been playing things closer to the vest, trailing at halftime a little bit more frequently, and then needing to fight, tooth and claw to try to win games late. And that's not necessarily a recipe to stack wins like they were doing last year.
What was that stat you gave for the Vikings? You ran by it quick about leads in the second half. What was it?
Minnesota has led just once at halftime this year, which is the lowest of any team in the NFL.
Okay. Chargers currently favored by 3.5, total 45. Tomorrow night at SoFi, where something's got to give. Chargers got to bounce back here and show that they are the team that many thought they were earlier in the season. All right, to Sunday. What catches your eye?
So I've got my little chart here, that breaks down some of the matchups and some of the strength of schedule spots. And one spot that obviously jumps out is the Atlanta Falcons. So far this year, the Atlanta Falcons have played the 4th most difficult schedule of opponents of any team. And now they're going to play the 5th easiest opponent in total efficiency. That is the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, we know the Dolphins struggling on both sides of the ball. Who knows what is going to happen with the coaching staff, with the quarterback. So many different problems in Miami. One of the interesting things, though, about Michael Penix and this Atlanta Falcons team, and now we've got, it's not a massive sample, because he only started, a couple of games, 3 games last year, I think, to close out the season. And then we've got everything so far this year. We got about a half a year of data on Michael Penix. And he's got what's similar to Bryce Young splits, home versus road. Let me read off some of these numbers to you. Obviously, the Atlanta Falcons got shut out by the Carolina Panthers, who are an okay team, not a great team by any stretch of the imagination, 30-0 earlier. Then they go to San Francisco against a Fred Warner-less defense, where it's like, okay, there could be some opportunities here. Lay an absolute A in prime time on Sunday Night Football last week in San Francisco. Then you look at the data. Out of 46 qualifying quarterbacks since the start of last season, Gill, Michael Penix ranks 46 out of 46 in EPA per attempt on the road. Oh, no. These are all stats and rankings. He ranks dead last in accuracy. He ranks 45th in completion rate. He ranks 45th in success rate. He ranked dead last in touchdown rate, and he ranks 40th in yards per pass attempt at 5.9. But then you look at him in home games, and when he plays at home in his dome in Atlanta, he's number 4 in EPA per attempt. So remember, he was dead last 46 out of 46 on the road. He's number 4 in home games. He's number 8 in success rate. He's number 3 in yards per attempt. He was number 40 in yards per attempt at 5.9 on the road. At home, he's 8.3 yards per attempt, which is third best. Now, his accuracy, his completion rate isn't necessarily that great at home. He's still like 25th range out of 46 quarterbacks because he's just not that accurate, and he does push the ball a little bit down the field. But just the statistics are so much better for Michael Penix at home than they've been on the road. And again, we're not talking about he's been going up on the road against the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens week in and week out. We're talking about no Fred Warner on the 49ers. We're talking about the Carolina Panthers defense and just poor performance all around from Michael Penix on the road. So something to store away in the data bank moving forward in terms of his poor performance on the road and reasons to question backing the Atlanta Falcons when they travel on the road. But this week they're at home. This week they move in a great schedule spot from one of the hardest schedules year to date in the NFL to playing the fifth worst team in the league, the Miami Dolphins. It should be a good opportunity for Michael Penix to deliver and Bijan Robinson and the rest of the Atlanta Falcons to chip in and have some success against this Miami Dolphins defense.
The home road splits thing on Penix is really interesting because we usually talk about home road splits in baseball when it comes to pitchers. Is it a thing? Is it just narrative? But, the way that we sort of the catch-all for that with Penix is on the carpet, right? You're playing on the faster track with his great weapons in Bijan and Pitts and London and Algier and all those guys. And so I wonder if that just manifests more. I wonder if that just becomes a thing more and more, where then on the road it becomes a little more, pedestrian. We shall see. It's interesting as always. Warren, always appreciated, always fascinating. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.